The evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Hi, it's itsdivya. Welcome to my channel. What does the G stand for? The G stands for good God. These books deserve jail. Court is now in session. Your Honor, here are the books that deserve to be locked up for their crimes. City of Bones deserves jail for their incest, then isn't incest, then becomes incest plotline. The whole series is an urban fantasy that revolves around Clare, a 16-year-old girl that finds out that actually she's special and she's got powers. She's part of a group called the Shadow Hunters who basically fight demons. There's a guy called Jason, she falls in love. Then she finds out that he's her brother. When she finds out that he is her brother, it's portrayed that their feelings for each other are just like so strong, you know, you've turned me head, that they just can't keep away from each other. Like, dude, you're worried about the wrong type of chemistry. Focus on your GCSEs. I call your attention to the time when Cassandra Clare made Jace and Clary have sex for the first time in a cave. In hell. There was sand. Like, why does my boy Jace have a dusty old condom in his pocket when they're in hell? Did I mention the fact that they were in hell? They were out here to like fight demons or what they do. To be honest, this book deserves life sentence for being this long, and it took away my actual life. I rest my case. All of these series deserves jail for being basically the same story regurgitated in a different font. Also, this cover. Shatter. The concept is basically Rogue from X-Men. There's like a 16, 17-year-old girl called Juliet, and she has been locked up. But the fact that when she touches people, they die. Your Honor, she's already been in jail and she deserves to stay there. She's been isolated for nearly over a year. She starts to question her sanity and question herself, and she's basically going a little bit cuckoo, which is like us during the pandemic. Juliet thinks that she's the main character in this series when really she's me when I had a AAA cut bra. Flat. I like to argue that Shatter Me deserves at least 20 years just for this line. My mouth is sitting on my kneecaps.
Right to jail.
My jaw is dangling from my shoelace.
Right to jail. Right away.
My stomach is a flimsy crepe.
Jail.
This book deserves death penalty for calling the main character, who is a singer who lives in future America, America's singer. The defense rests. Jail. This cover. Jail. Wuthering Heights. This book took me 3 years to read it, and just for that reason, jail. I think that the sentence should be elongated just for the fact that this cover makes it look like it's part of like a vampire Twilight type series, when actually it's a crusty dusty classic that I had no intention of reading when I was 13 years old. Jail. I now call to the stand The Hunger Games. It's just that when I was 13, 14, 15, 16 in school, I became known by my friends and even my teachers as the person who loves Just Hutcherson and The Hunger Games, and it became my only personality trait for the sole purpose of that.
You right to jail.
A Court of Thorns and Roses. What to say? If you know, you know. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling as new adult, but it's just not safe for work. I read this at age 16 and I loved it. But as a 35-year-old, in retrospect, I realized that this is just 300 pages of Tamlin's problematic wolfy pecs. And him just like growling all the time. Furry vibes. More seriously, there's this weird grayish case. Tamlin, who is the wolfy guy, warns the main character, Fair, not to come outside your room if you want to stay safe because it's mating season, baby, and I'll be under the control of the moon and that. So there's this mating ritual festival that happens, and Fair is like, maybe I do want to see some of that mating ritual, and she comes out of her room. Here's the passage, pause if you want to read it. She says to let go, but then he doesn't, and then he starts like biting her neck and just telling her about all these like saucy details. And I do understand that maybe it's one of those moments where she says no, but she actually means yes, but it's a little bit grey because I feel like it's kind of that situation where it's like no doesn't mean no. So it could be argued either way. I just didn't like the scene. It gave me the ick. Okay, there's also another character called Rysand who drugs Fair, makes her prance around in a transparent costume, licks her cheek while she's tied up. There's fingerprints of his hands on her hips. And people are so quick to defend him. Like, the fandom is a little bit like passionate because they're like, oh no, but in like the second book it explains that, oh, like he had to do it for Farah, otherwise they would both die because they were like mind reading fairies, and he had to prove his loyalty to the evil queen. Farah's mind is weak, so if he had told her, then the fairies would have been able to read the mind and then realize that this is all fake, and then they would have both died. So it's like, you know, like it's fair, you know, it's justified. Straight to jail.
Right away.
The Midnight Library. Girl is 35, she's working in a bookshop, and she starts to regret her entire life. She looks back in retrospect and she's like, damn, I really regret basically all of my life choices. I had so much potential as a child, and look at me now. Then she gets fired, then her dog dies, then she's like, I don't have any friends, and she's like, you know what, I want to end it all. She attempts suicide, and when she does, she gets transported into the Midnight Library, which is kind of like a heaven where she's given a second chance. She can choose and live out an infinite different lives where she makes different choices at every step of her life. This book deserves jail for giving me hope that there is an infinity of goodness in my own timeline, for shifting my perspective when I was depressed, and realizing that what we think are past regrets or dreams that are unachieved, or when we really start wishing for a different life, the dreams that we have in our head aren't always what they make out to be and might not be the best choice for you. I love this book and I recommend it for anyone who's prone to overthinking or feels depressed or hopeless in life, and especially for the people who are holding a lot of regret on their shoulders. Jail. After Spawn These Hells. Jail. These Wordsworth classic covers? They look like my trashy design cover series, which you should totally go watch after this video, by the way. Please, what is this? The skin tones don't even match. Miss Girl. Adultolscene, written by Gabby, Hanna. I've said enough, but it deserves jail for this poem. Just read it. Have you read it? Yeah. Your Honor, death sentence. Your Honor, I have but softly touched under hundreds of perpetrators who deserve to see the light of justice, and they all deserve the death penalty, or at least a few years of community service. They are hereby found guilty. If you enjoyed this type of crusty content, I would appreciate a subscribe or even a like. It really helps my dying channel out. Please leave evidence in the comments below for further perpetrators that you believe deserve to be behind bars, and leave me a like so that I can continue this series and put more books to all the G's that suck it out until the end of the video. Come, let's hug. Nah, I'm forcing you. I don't like hugs either. Like, oh. Isn't that so warm and cozy? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, innit? Like and subscribe, comment, do your thing. Smash the button. I'm gonna go now. Boop. As I said before, this is all fact. This is all evidence. They really do deserve jail. This is not an opinion at all. What? Subjective? Don't know the meaning of the word. Boop.